your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us, 'cause now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, 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 and welcome down to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast on a seminal day for the Ryder Cup. Both teams have been fully announced, and boy, oh boy, have, in my opinion, Team Europe made a absolutely whopping 6'7" mistake. But mind you saying that, I think the US also has made a massive mistake as well. So we'll get into all of that, our projections for Rome in the biggest event in golf. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Peter Finch. I'm over here if you're watching this. We've got David Barwise to our left, a now regular contributor to the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, Jacob Broadbridge, and Kieran Mulhall, who I am now announcing everyone's full names for no apparent reason.
Yeah, did people know our surnames before? Probably not.
No, I'm not sure. I've just run straight off the golf course, so I'm a little bit.
It's okay. I don't think people can do too much with that information for now, anyway.
Okay, that's good. Is my mic coming across okay? I think these headphones might be a bit broken.
No, I can hear you.
I sound like a Dalek in my ears.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
really?
that's fine. That's fine. I can get over that.
Yeah, no,
that's just how you sound, Pete.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay. Great, thank you. I was actually the inspiration. Yeah,
That's what you did before.
A big, large, blocky robot.
Have you been there throughout all the Doctor Who's? Have you seen it transition into what is it? What's they called? What do they regenerate?
Regenerate. Yeah. I'm actually the base model of all Doctor Who's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm based. I'm based on what? I don't know. Who knows? Right. So that's a nice little segue to begin.
Yeah, Ryder Cup straight in.
We're in Scotland right now, which is probably why we're a little bit on edge as well, because the air is very thin up here. The wonderful links of Dundonald, and I have to say, this might be the nicest ever day Scotland has ever experienced. 24 degrees, perfect sunshine, no wind, temperature-wise, absolutely pristine. It's been spectacular today.
Yeah, we're up here for the week, and I don't think we could have picked a better week, really. Looking at what's coming up, and the temperatures for the rest of the week is going to be going to be good.
There isn't a better week. So
No,
this week, mark it down in your memories, boys. There will never be a better week
Just
in
want to tell the
Scotland
grandkids, is
than
it?
this week.
It's all downhill from here.
Honestly, we can walk down the streets of Glasgow in about 10 years and say, you remember the first 5 days of September in 2023, and people will look at you in awed silence saying, oh my God, were you there? I was like, yeah, we were there.
How bad is it that we've had to wait until the first week of September to actually say that we've had a genuinely good week of weather?
This is summer.
Yeah.
This is our summer.
Something's going wrong, I reckon, in
Honestly.
the universe.
It's like global warming, mate.
Yeah.
You've got to watch out.
Did they even predict this? I'm pretty sure, like, you know how they're saying, like, we've had a heat wave coming, and it just never came.
No. That was you.
Oh, was it me? Was it?
For context, Kieran has promised me a heat wave, I think since January.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You called it. You just called it for every week of the
Yeah,
year.
exactly,
So,
yeah.
you were not wrong.
No, Kieran has been absolutely right. There has been a heat wave in the rest of Europe. It has just stopped at the borders of France and
Yeah.
refused to come over the channel.
Yeah.
It's been a bit of a soggy summer.
You're our southern correspondent, so has it been better down there? Because
It's been very nice.
okay,
Yeah.
well,
it's been
maybe
very
it's just not got as far up as Manchester.
good. Yeah, it just stops at like.
Oh, actually, no, it's
just
always
always
nice
It's
there,
always
isn't it?
nice
Yeah.
down there. Come on, mate.
It doesn't rain in Dorset.
It's
does
always
it?
sunny in
Never.
Dorset.
It
The
never rains
the
in Dorset.
spin-off.
You were in Dorset this morning as well, weren't you?
No, Bristol.
Oh, right, okay.
Close, but
No, close.
well, maybe the weather and the extreme heats that we are now experiencing in the UK is potentially what is to blame for Luke Donald's picks today, because we sat and watched them whilst you were hitting some balls on the range, and the sun might have got to him, because there's a man that's missing who I think that you're in particularly not very happy about.
I like how you are trying to suggest that global warming has had some kind of say in the picks of European captain Luke Donald.
Look, who's to say that it hasn't? That's all I'm saying.
Well, you know what? You might be right.
Yep.
You might be wrong.
When he was doing his picks with Nick Doherty, I didn't see any glasses of water on the table. I don't know how hydrated he was.
By the way, I don't remember 2 years ago. That's a long time in my mind.
Yeah.
Were the picks for the last Ryder Cup done in this manner?
I think they were, yes, but I think the ones before that were done at Wentworth.
Right. So to put everyone in context of what's happened today, Luke Donald has made his picks for the Ryder Cup. So there were 6 automatic qualifiers, and he had 6 wild card picks. Team USA has already been fully selected, so now we know the full lineups. But the selection was done through Sky Sports. Nick Doty had Luke Donald in the studio with him.
With a live studio audience.
Now I fully presume, and I would hate to be wrong about this, that Luke Donald would have already spoken to everybody who's made the team.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't just have like 10 open Zoom windows, and there's basically 4 players who didn't get selected
That
for
would
the
have
call.
been very.
Adrian, can you
That'd have
turn your camera off, please?
How brutal
That
would
would
that
have been
have been?
so brutal.
Like, I don't think Luke's that kind of guy, so I'm
No.
pretty sure that wasn't the case.
No, I think they said in a couple of the interviews, because as they announced every pick and they came up and they did have a chat, as you say, on Zoom, they a couple of them said, like, oh, when Luke rang me yesterday. So it'd obviously been planned.
So basically, the automatic qualifiers for the European team to go to Rome were McIlroy, Hovland, Hatton, Rahm, Fitz, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Rob McIntyre. Already selected for the US is Brian Harmon, Scotty Scheffler, Clark, Homer, Cantley, Schauffele, Koepka, Thomas, Spieth, Fowler, Morikawa, and Burns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 6 picks
Yep.
for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw it out there and say I'm not massively happy.
Okay.
I think there have been maybe a couple of oversights and potentially a little bit of unfairness going on. Now, this was, I just want to make sure everyone is clear on this. This was always going to happen.
Mm.
The fact is that, like, when you get wild card picks, there are always a number of names that are up for selection, and someone's got to miss out. Like, this is like literally, there are kids lined up in the playground. The captain is picking. There's going to be some disappointed children there.
Yeah.
So that is 100% obvious to say, and,
unavoidable.
and everyone's going to have a different opinion. What were our thoughts on? So let's go the first few picks. So I think these were ones that we all agreed were going to happen. So Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, and Shane Lowry.
Yeah. I think you can kind of draw a line, maybe through 4 of the names, maybe half and half, where, as you say, expected. Tommy was the first announced. That was kind of, they just knew they were going to get that one out of the way because that was always going to happen. He only fell out of the automatics because Fitz played well in Switzerland. Then Rose, it feels almost was a given because when you look down that team now, even though it's very exciting and for the sake of Europe going into the future, very youthful, that's a side that, you could take into the next, 2 or 3 Ryder Cups, really. Rose is the only guy over 40 who's managed to, withhold onto a position after you lose that kind of old guard of Poulter and McDowell and Westwood and Stenson, these guys that obviously with the Live Golf move, whether you agree or not, that they weren't going to be in for selection.
They were out.
Yeah.
Well, they were out.
Yeah, they were never going in.
Yeah, I think that was one of the reasons they moved. Obviously, Stenson, he would have been captain of this Ryder Cup if he hadn't made his move.
Yeah, I've thrown Lowry into the 3 of Tommy Rose. Tommy and Rose of the guys that I think were guaranteed. Now, from what I've seen in regards to backlash from the picks, and it'll be interesting to think what you guys think, that actually Lowry, beside Moronk and stuff, objection, which we'll get into, is the one that actually people maybe thought was a bit of a shock, just because of how he's been playing recently.
Yeah, I don't actually disagree with that. I think with Lowry, he's obviously not been playing terribly, but he's not been playing amazingly. But he is someone who, potentially because of how he performed in the last Ryder Cup, actually raised his kind of profile in the Ryder Cup quite a lot that year.
Yeah.
And I think with any Ryder Cup team's always better with an Irishman in there. It's just like
talismanic Irishman.
Yeah, it's automatic, and he's the kind of character you'd expect to raise his game. But there is an argument that there's a lot of players who go into Ryder Cups and you say, "Oh, I'd expect them to raise their game," when they don't. Like, so there's no guarantee that he will be able to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think, even though a lot of people almost considered it an automatic, I don't think it was quite as simple as that. But I'm happy to personally see him there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think so. It was one that, to me, as I say, was kind of a guaranteed, not even penciled in, probably wrote in with pen probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, along with Tommy and Rose.
I thought Rose was a bit of a wild one. Obviously, he had a great start to the year and obviously won at Pebble, but like, I don't know, the last sort of, he has gone off the boil quite a bit over the last couple of weeks.
David, you are looking pensive as hell over there. Have you got any Justin Rose stats or Justin Rose facts and figures that you can turn around and say, actually, Kieran, the reason that Justin Rose deserved to be there is because
Of this.
You would have thought so, wouldn't you?
oh my God, he doesn't deserve to be there.
If we give you 5 minutes of search, could you find something as we kill time? And
I could literally tell you his record.
oh, well, there we go.
He's won, what's that, over 60% of his points. He's won 13, lost 8, and drawn 2. And actually, based on the sheer amount of Ryder Cup matches that he's played and the fact that he keeps battling into those positions, and some of the iconic moments that he's had, you know, the chip-ins, the shot from round the trees, he probably has more experience in like the heat of battle in the arena than anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's not, wouldn't necessarily have thought about this outside of the Ryder Cup itself. He doesn't strike me necessarily as a Ryder Cup player, but put him in that uniform and all of a sudden he does come alive.
Yeah.
The dog comes out.
Yeah, something like that.
He's
So
got that dog.
Obviously, everyone will like dip in form and play themselves out of contention one day. But I guess this is, given like some of the names that we'll come on to in just a moment, we've got some fresher faces in. Maybe they need an elder statesman in.
Yeah, that's certainly how it felt like to me, and that they needed someone in there. That this is now going to be his 6th Ryder Cup appearance. That's something that none of those guys that are in can say they've been in. And that if off the back of the other 5 picks that he made, you know, he's gone with what's that now going to be 3 new rookies along with Bobby as an automatic. So you've got 4 rookies from Europe going into this year. So I, as you say, Kieran, like it's probably one that maybe if we're going to sit here and criticise Lowry and his form going into it, Rose not necessarily has lit up the golfing scape for the last 3 or 4 months, but at least he's won this year and he's shown consistency on the PGA Tour at the age he is, and he's still playing and swinging it as well as he can be. And he is one of those guys that when I hear him talk about the Ryder Cup, there is that kind of, to not be too cliche, but that kind of little twinkle in his eye and that little injection of kind of energy that I don't usually see from someone like Justin Rose. He clearly loves the event. It always makes me die when they kind of refer to seeing the European crest on their chest and having that kind of, where I never look down at the European flag and have that kind of
that heart pounding pride.
But he has mentioned in the past, like, this is something that really does get him going.
Yeah, and I can see that with Rose as well, and I can understand that kind of passion, having been in so many. He's had highs and lows in the Ryder Cup, and he will be able to bring that experience, because you kind of forget with Rose as well. Like I said, how old is he now, Rose?
43.
43. Like 43 in golfing terms. Yes, it's kind of pushing maybe a little bit into the autumn of his career, but it's not old.
No,
like especially with the condition that he keeps himself in. So having the experience of a player like him in the dressing room, I think is going to be invaluable.
Yeah, I think he's one of only 2 people in the European team that were at Medina.
Well,
I think it's literally him and Rory. I mean, correct me if I'm.
Well, yeah, and Donald, but obviously Donald captain.
That's true. He subbed himself in at the last minute.
Yeah.
The miracle of Medina.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Give it his full title, please.
Yeah.
So I think you can maybe make an argument for Rose and Lowry. I think Tommy's been so consistent.
Yeah, that was a guarantee.
That he was always going to be in. So I think we can all agree with that. I think we're all pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
Next up that we have in here.
Where do you want to go? Because we could talk extensively about any of these, I think.
So let's get Aberg out of the way.
Okay.
Now, obviously, this is a very new tour pro.
I was about to say, like, I'm going to be honest, like, I genuinely don't think I've seen him swing a golf club before.
David,
You're going to love it.
I know, he's been on
give us
8
your full...
It's a
Did you not
good
watch
swing.
any of the Omega European Masters?
No, I didn't.
He doesn't watch golf.
Kieran, that's an absolute shambles.
I know, I didn't.
What were you doing?
87 days he's been a pro.
Yeah.
87 days.
Quick turnaround, didn't it?
That's wild.
I think
This is a very quick moving story, the way this has
I
gone.
mean,
Like,
I've got mixed feelings on this because, like, when you see him play and when you actually look at what he's done in such a short space of time, it is pretty obvious that he is going to be an absolute superstar.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he plays, everything about him, his whole demeanor, just the whole vibe that you get from him, he's going to be an absolutely exceptional player.
Yeah.
And going into the Omega European Masters, to give it its full title, you would have said that to absolutely make sure that he had his selection, he had to win. And he did.
Yeah.
Like, he came through on Sunday, played really good golf. I mean, Fitzpatrick had a little bit of a slip, but like, Aberg came through and he won it. Like,
However much weight you want to put in the fact that, you know, this is a guy that coming into that week was under the, I don't want to say scrutiny because he wasn't under scrutiny, so to speak, but under the pressure of this is someone that could get picked in the Ryder Cup and something that he may have felt the pressure of. After he won in Crans, he did say that I've done a really good job of not trying to think about it. But when you go in and you play a tournament in the first 2 rounds, the captain and the vice captain decide they want to play alongside you in Luke Donald and Nicholas Colsaerts, then that kind of gives you an idea and understanding of what they think about you as a player.
The eyeballs are on there.
And, I mean, he shot 6 under the first round with these guys watching him. He knows what's going on.
Bear in mind, this is a geezer who's literally only been a pro a few months.
Yeah.
And has impressed the European top brass, I've always wanted to say that, to the extent that he's been selected for the biggest team competition in golf.
Yeah.
Men's golf.
Yeah.
So...
How old is he?
23, I think.
David?
Stand by. 23.
23.
Nailed it.
23, wow.
And he's obviously a class act. And it's hard to argue with his selection with the fact that he's just won. But he is the first golfer in history to play in a Ryder Cup who has never played in a major before.
Correct.
That's wild.
You know, he has won a DP World Tour event.
Yeah.
But
a good one.
That's basically it. Like,
yeah.
If we're talking about someone who's obviously very impressive, yes, he's just won that event. What if Connor Syme would have won that event? Like, he is not going to get selected for the Ryder Cup.
No.
What if Alex Fitzpatrick had won? Are you telling me that Aberg has done more in the last few months than Alex Fitzpatrick if he'd have won that event?
Yes. I'd say that because of how he's also performed on the PGA Tour, he's put himself into fields, albeit not all the strongest in the world, but he's put himself into what we would probably agree is the highest peak in golf in regards to PGA Tour compared to the DP World Tour. You know, Alex Fitzpatrick got his first win on the Challenge Tour only 3 weeks ago. That's not going to do it to get onto a Ryder Cup team, but
what if he'd have won?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
but
Aberg,
you've got a guy in Aberg that since he made his first start in the PGA Tour, he leads it in strokes gained off the tee. He beats McIlroy and Scheffler out since he started on the PGA Tour.
Which is fine, but it's a PGA Tour career which has lasted 4 events.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not. You know, I'm not saying that should do it for him, but I'm just saying when he's been playing in these situations, you're talking about a guy like Scheffler and McIlroy, who we say and put in such high esteem in regards to their ball striking off the tee, and he's putting himself up there. I know we mentioned to say, you know, this is a guy that is going to be a generational talent, we seem to think, but I don't mind it so much because we're at a point with European Ryder Cup team where it's such transitional stage that why not get someone who we think's going to be in it for the next 10 years
It's just more that has he like earned it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Has he earned it over the last 2 years? The
answer to that straight up is no.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's not earned that over the last 2 years. He's just stormed into the world of professional golf, had a fantastically hot start. Is obviously a fantastic player, and I just want to make sure all my cards are fully on the table here. I actually don't mind him going. I think he's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
David, hit me. Stat me up. What are we talking about, Aberg? Tell me things about him.
What's his best attribute? That's what
I
wanna
don't know.
You're asking me a lot of questions.
His
It's very scary.
cool demeanor, Kieran. That's
cool
his,
demeanor. That's his best attribute.
I'm just trying to forage some
forage through Forest Aberg, trying to find some mushrooms. On it.
Exactly. Well, I think it's maybe not a surprise that his whole game is built largely on driving distance. Like just looking through data golf at the moment, he gains strokes everywhere on the field. He gains strokes everywhere. So it's not a case of he's completely one-dimensional, but that one dimension is obviously so good that that's what you're drawn to.
Yeah. His total driving is impressive.
Yeah, the only place that he really seems to lose strokes from what is a very, very low sample size is around the green. And I imagine at a place like Marco Simone, you probably need to be hitting those greens already.
Yeah, pretty much. So
Hit fairway.
What's his accuracy like?
It is pretty much like in terms of off the tee.
Yeah.
I don't have that information
because
because
he's probably not played enough.
he has not played enough.
out of the last 200 competitive holes he's played, what is his accuracy percentage with his 7 to his pitching wedge?
Has he even played 200 holes yet?
Probably not.
That's wild, though, isn't it?
So this is
That's absolutely
can I
wild.
just-
Yeah, nice. He would have.
Can I just clarify what was his first pro start?
The Canadian.
That was the Canadian.
Yeah.
so. Kind of what's his?
Let's
Just leave it.
just one at a time.
Can I have a mic stand so I could use my second?
Just
All right.
because I know you're on there now. What is his current world ranking now?
He's currently
90 something, I think.
90 on the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Seems.
but no, this is the thing because he's 90 on the button. He's just won, but he has only just started playing professional golf, and this is my only issue with this. The wild card picks are completely at the discretion of the captains of both teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is why you were getting such conflicting opinions about Justin Thomas going and Zach Johnson selecting him because he's not been playing great, but he's a Ryder Cup junkie. Yeah, he absolutely lives for this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why it played such a big part in being selected for the US team. So Luke Donald has perfect carte blanche on who he wants to pick.
Mm-hmm.
He could have picked absolutely anybody he wanted. There would have been arguments for or against, but that is his decision.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to argue with it because he's just won. However, I think there are so many players who have been consistently playing on the DP World Tour and in PGA Tour events and majors who, let's face it, have been trying to get in this Ryder Cup team for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And have done a lot of work to get there.
Yep.
And for them to be missed out and passed over, it seems a little bit strange.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think I feel like we're not having this conversation at the previous Ryder Cup. I think that Aberg would have been a pick that everyone would have just been happy with because I think at the time there wasn't anyone or there wasn't multiple people that could have been picked over anyone. Yeah. I think we were almost with those final picks last time picking guys like Garcias and Poulters and Wiesbergers that, you know, they just get picked in because of pedigree and we don't really think about it too much. Whereas we had a nice headache for Luke Donald this time where guys like Adrian Moronk, who's missed out, Yannick Paul, who's missed out, potentially the other Højgaard, Rasmus, has missed out. Victor Perez has missed out. There's not. I don't think this is a conversation that necessarily arises at the previous Ryder Cup, and it's a good position for us to be in. Which is,
yeah, definitely.
I think we'll get into a bit later in regards to predictions of what we feel might happen when we get to Rome in what is now 3 weeks' time.
Yeah, it's
4 weeks. It's not long. So I mean I hear it from both sides. I personally, when we did our initial early predictions, I had Aberg on my team as more of a fun pick, kind of a it'll be nice, go and chuck him in, not really necessarily taking it seriously, thinking that actually he would get in. Do you think that the win genuinely got him in, or do you think even if he'd finished,
I think
T25, he would have got in?
I think
anyway?
by the looks of it, if he'd have, as long as he contended,
He was going.
he was probably going to get him.
Yeah.
Which, again, I think they wanted to see him in the heat with a chance to win and to see if he could cope with that. And he came through and he won. And like I said, I'm more than happy with him being there. I think he's a great talent. My issue really is that the last two picks, you've got Nikolai Højgaard and Sepp Straker.
Yeah.
Now, Straker, I'm actually quite a big fan
Yeah,
of.
so same. Yeah.
So
That's what I was. Yeah.
the way he's obviously a kind of winner on the PGA Tour. He's won this year as well.
Yeah.
A little bit streaky, but he can string.
Played well in the.
He can get on a burner.
Played well in the Open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tied second. Yeah.
in the Open.
Like he can string birdies together, and I was watching quite a bit of him at the Open as well, and I was pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this whole demeanor, the way he's striking it. And he doesn't actually look that young, but he's actually still quite a young
Yeah.
player.
I reckon
big,
it's
big
quite.
dude
I was
as
about
well.
to say,
He's
I
a
reckon
big
it's
unit,
quite
yeah.
like it's a good. What is it like if you in rugby? Like if you got a big prop, like it's just like it's just
Just
that
to
little
have
bit
a
more
big body.
intimidating. Yeah, because obviously with the likes of like USA, they got a bit of like
Someone
Koepka
starts on
and-
Rory. Someone's
Yeah,
good.
exactly right. Just if he's like around, then
Yeah.
it just chills everything out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Like-
those infamous corridor confrontations that happen in
yeah.
the Ryder Cup.
Well,
With
no.
Sepp Straker's there, like backing everyone up,
That's what I mean.
barreling down the
Yeah.
carpeted halls of Marco Simone, saying, "Oh, Koepka, back off my boy Fitz,
Yeah.
or I'm going to sit on you."
Yeah.
I don't
Sit on you.
I don't think.
He's top of the list of golfers I would not want to sit on me.
Like, what do you think happens behind the scenes at the Ryder
I
Cup?
don't know, but it might get a bit feisty.
Bit of a
bit of
knife
a-
fight in the car park.
Yeah.
Meet me on the 9th green at
Yeah.
the clock jobby.
You bring your three biggest boys, I'll bring my
But-
three biggest boys. Let's have it.
But if it does come to it, having Sepp Straker on your team is quite a good thing.
It
You
comes
know what I
down
mean?
to a knuckle brawl.
Exactly right.
So
exactly
like,
right.
yeah, we had like the Nicholas, the Jack Nicklaus and Tony Jacklin concession. It's going to go the opposite way in
Yeah.
Rome. It's going to be a bare knuckle boxing that
Well,
match
you
on the
know
last
what
green.
it's like in Italy.
The thing is,
everyone's-
like, Straker's not going to get in there. Like, Luke's going to be looking around, and Rahm is going to be frothing at the mouth. Do you think anyone is going to get in apart from Rahm for a bare knuckle boxing
yeah,
match?
that's true.
He'd eat anybody alive.
What do you
Imagine Cantley versus Rahm.
You know what
do you think's
happens
gonna
in
happen?
Italy?
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. When
Too
you're
many
in Italy,
limoncellos.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what I mean. When you're in Italy, you just feel a little bit more. I don't know, on edge and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it can.
What
it can
happened
go
to you
either
in
way.
Yeah, what
Italy?
happened to you in Italy?
I don't know. I've been a few times. I've actually been a few times this year, to be fair. And
And
know,
now
every,
you're not allowed back in.
no, yeah.
Every time he's having a scrap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm ready. You're just on your guard. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're on your guard. And no, I think it's good having that. And then obviously he's a good golfer as well. So,
that helps. Yeah.
From a course fit perspective as well, I was just having a look through driving accuracy. Everyone on the European team, Straker is number 1
Okay.
for driving accuracy. I think he's number 3 for greens in reg as well.
Mm-hmm.
So from that, and it obviously well above average in both.
Yeah.
So I'm not expecting him to play every session. I'd be surprised if he plays more than 3.
Yeah.
But he feels like a really, really good, reliable person.
I think that's a good point you make as well. Like when you come to these selections, I kind of think that you see some of these guys and you go, they may play 2 sessions. You need a singles out of them, and they might play like a 4-ball.
Yeah.
So you look at the top, which is very heavy loaded with some big guns. The way Hovland's playing, McIlroy obviously, Rahm, Hatton, Fitz, all playing really, really well. How many sessions Aberg's going to play? How many sessions Straker's going to play? I don't know. Maybe Luke will have more interest in Straker playing a little bit more than Aberg. But I think it was a good pick. I think it was I actually think it was a more straightforward pick than people maybe thought. I think Straker was definitely one that Luke was again penned in from a while ago, and then leaves us with the final guy in Nikolai Højgaard, who everyone is going to have down as the guy who has displaced Meronk. I don't necessarily think that is the case. I think you could say that it was either Aberg or Højgaard that were the ones to do it. But it just seems on just going from reaction online, that's kind of it was either Moronk or Højgaard, and it's gone with Nikolai. Now, my initial first reaction as a twin was I feel really sad for Rasmus, because I know if I watch my brother going and playing in a Ryder Cup and probably having a very similar dream of wanting to do the same. But he'll be very happy for him.
That's the beauty of it. Like Rasmus could maybe do the Saturday. Nikolai does the
You'll never know.
You never know. Exactly. And we will never know.
Big shout out to the Højgaards, by the way. They're fans of the channel, and Papa Højgaard as well.
Big fan.
Big fan of the channel.
I had a nice chat to him at the Open.
Did you?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Oh.
And that's going to be obviously really cool for like the whole family. That's going to be great. And Nikolai is an unbelievable ball striker. Like he's one of the guys on the range when you see him hit a driver. It's impressive, and his swing is very, very good. To be honest, all these players you could make an argument for, and I think there was no right or wrong decision. But I feel I've never met the guy, and I don't know why I feel. Well, I do know some reasons why, but there is something quite inexplicable about how bad I feel for Adrian Moronk.
Yeah, you just want to give him a hug.
I can't.
You know what I mean?
I can't quite explain it. I think he's did everything that he possibly could to qualify.
Yeah,
he's a DP World Tour kind of stalwart over the last few years. Who's worked his way up.
Yep.
He's won at the golf course. At Marco Simone.
Yeah,
and I'm a big fan of his game and the way he goes about it.
I think he's third in the Race to Dubai this year. He was fifth in the European points list. As you say, a guy who won at this golf course 6 months ago or 4 months ago, whether it might have been. It seemed, again, one of those that was just perfectly placed for him to just roll into this side.
It's something I can't quite understand. I think for me as well, maybe it's a little bit of underlying bias for me towards kind of DP World Tour, like former European Tour. I like to see players from that tour get a chance to show themselves at that kind of level.
Bobby's up there with that.
Yeah, we got Bobby McIntyre, and I think we've got Nikolai Højgaard, who you would say those two guys, they are
staple DP World Tour players.
Yeah, but everybody else there, I mean, even Aberg, like, I think his intentions are pretty clear. He's going to be PGA Tour. I think for me, I think there was a chance there to say, okay, Adrian, you have obviously stuck DP World Tour. You have played incredibly consistent golf. You've won at this golf course. You've done pretty much everything that anybody can do, but you're not in the team.
It's a bit like, it's wild.
It's for a bloke who's had 8 starts.
Yeah. There's something that doesn't feel kind of quite right about it. But like I said, there's absolutely no decision. There's absolutely no wrong decision in many respects, and this is why you have the captain's picks. So you have that discretion. But I do think they should be there. I don't really think there was for me, he should have been a nailed on. Yeah. But
I'd love to hear what Luke would say about it, though. Do you know what I mean? Like,
drop him a message.
I don't know who. Yeah, like someone just needs to have
what is this?
Text him right now.
Someone needs to have like the balls to just like ask him straight. Just be like,
did you see him take the mick out of me?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Who?
Luke sent us a message after we did the Ryder Cup video.
No,
he said leave some rough for the rest of us.
Really?
It was on the Instagram post. Yeah. It got loads of likes on it. It was really
Oh
good.
no, I didn't see that.
Really good.
But the thing is, what certainly if you look at Nikolai's obviously winner on the DP World Tour as well. If we're doing it based on a decision being between those two, even though I don't quite agree with that.
Yeah.
You can point to Nikolai and say, well, he's won on DP World Tour.
Yeah.
He's definitely
in the last. When was his last win?
That's a good question. It wasn't that long ago.
We looked at David. No, I don't think it was. Was it Rasmus? I think Rasmus won in Himmerland, didn't he?
Yeah.
Which means Nikolai probably
Rasmus won it.
Yeah.
So
which means Nikolai probably won the week before. Yeah.
Right.
What I would not a massive detour away, but I would be quite interested to know is with the Solheim Cup picks and the Ryder Cup picks, the majority of them are Scandinavian, which is a really interesting thought for like the state of affairs of Scandinavian golf at the minute. Like for the Solheim Cup picks, the only one that wasn't was Gemma Dryber from Scotland.
Yeah.
All the rest were Scandinavian.
Yeah, like a big
And
Swedish.
A big Swedish contingent. You've got Aberg this time. You've got Højgaard this time. More kind of continuation of like Scandinavian into both the men and women's game for Europe, which is great.
I really, really, really want to go to like Sweden or
as a golfing destination.
Yeah. I think it looks so cool. I think we need to try and do that next year.
Yeah, who do Fred, if you're listening.
Yeah, Fred needs to kind of hook us up.
I'll talk to you at the Solheim Cup, and we'll sort something out.
Scandinavia is definitely a place you need to go to.
Yeah.
There's so many courses.
Well, they must be doing something right because they're producing a lot of good golfers at the minute.
I mean, honestly, the more we look at it, so it's 2000. His last year was Nikolai's last win.
Was that at Ras Al Khaimah?
Which he backed up with 4 missed cuts. But his
Ras Al Khaimah was the last win for Nikolai.
His actual consistency this year has been very, very good.
Has it?
Yeah. He's only missed a couple of cuts. But
that's wow.
I don't like it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I must be honest. I'm very happy to see him there, but I just feel really sorry for Adrian Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're Adrian Monk, do you just go as a fan, or do you just like?
No, he'll be good.
Yeah, he'll be.
Like bear in mind on a serious note for this, like you've got Adrian Monk, you've got Yannick Paul, you've got Victor Perez. You know, you've got these guys who are in and around that bubble who are so close to getting in there, and for a lot of players, this is the pinnacle. Like to appear in a Ryder Cup is something that like golfers dream about. You know, this is one of those things that you're on the putting green as a kid, you're practicing.
Yeah.
You know, you're not holding out with the greatest respect to the Ras Al Khaimah Championship. You're not holding out wishing you're going to win that.
Yeah.
You are holding out dreaming of beating Tiger Woods in the singles at the Ryder Cup to win it for Europe. You're dreaming of winning majors. You know, these events that transcend the everyday in and outs of professional golf. These are the things that you want to be at. These are the events that mean the most. And to miss out on it by such a fine margin and based on the opinion of a pick, it must be gutting. It must be absolutely devastating.
Especially for like his country as well. Obviously, Poland is not necessarily known for producing good golfers or any. Has there ever been a Polish golfer before? Or is it?
I can't think.
I'm sure there will be. There will be one.
I don't know. But
he's the first man ever.
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But you know, from that aspect of like representing his country and stuff like that, like that's massive. So he will be good.
Yeah.
I did feel for that one because I mean I've had a closer eye on Moronk this year out of any year, given that I selected him for my major pick. So I was always interested to see how he was doing, and he was hovering around that top 50 in the world, top 60 kind of position, and you know, playing fairly solid golf, and also being fairly consistent as well. Yeah. Especially on those DP World Tour events, he was always at the top, and it just feels that maybe there's a slight sense of Luke having a more of a bias towards a Højgaard and just enjoying them as a golfer more than
any time there's a selection for a team, like there will be the bias of the person who's selecting.
Yeah,
like, and no, I don't mean that as not in a bad way.
No,
I mean obviously everyone's going to have their own personal opinion, and you know Nikolai could absolutely smash it, which would be incredible. Yeah. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah,
like, all these captains' picks could smash it.
Yeah.
And there will always be players who miss out, and it's just. I personally think that next year maybe reducing the amount of captains' picks, giving a little bit more weighting to the consistency shown throughout the year, even if it's like weighting the final events a little bit heavier. Yeah, like I think that'd be really good. But the argument is that it takes away the chance to get the really hot players in.
Yeah,
like
sure. Yeah, it gives Luke the opportunity to pick the guys that are playing well then and there, and he's obviously done that with the guys that he's gone with.
I think from a European standpoint, in general, this is a pretty big positive.
Yeah.
I think really for the US team, there was maybe a little bit less controversy apart from Justin Thomas.
Justin Thomas and you can argue Koepka as well, obviously, because Koepka was.
I think Koepka was always going.
He was always going to, but
it was hard to miss him out.
Yeah, but like as in, like, imagine if probably the more controversial thing would have been if he
wasn't
Zach
picked.
didn't pick him because of
and I think
because of it.
Because of as you're probably going to mention with the live factor, that he is probably for Zach Johnson the easiest guy from that group to pick because of how minimal he's spoken out about, you know, any kind of PGA or live sort of, you know, in preferring one to the other. Obviously he's on the live tour, so he is going to speak more outwardly towards that, but you know, he's not the guy that turns up to the majors and is playing in his whatever he is, Crushers, or I don't know what his branding is, but you know, he still sticks with his Nike stuff. He doesn't come into these events and stuff, so there's not really that kind of animosity around Koepka as a kind of PGA versus live sort of thing. But especially, as you say, going into guys like Justin Thomas for a pick, that was one that I did again select in my team, but didn't think that was gonna happen.
I'd have loved to have known how close DeChambeau was to being picked. You don't think he was close? No,
not personally.
Well, for one, I think the only reason why is just because obviously he shot his
58,
58, so that even if that was the case, I don't even think his name would have been mentioned before that. Obviously, it seems
he had a few like good.
Oh no,
majors in the majors. He was right.
I don't disagree with that. I just think, just generally, I don't think they would have gone that way, because just only because he did that, his name was in the press a little bit more. Apart from that, because I mean, just to finally sort of have a little bit of a roundup on the European stuff, and then we'll quickly come back to the American side. When we first started this year, or even in the first of the kind of Ryder Cup calendar, I was looking at this as we're going to get beaten again. We're going to lose. So what would be great for the European side is to bring in guys like Nicolai, who now Aberg, who obviously at the time I didn't know was going to come out of anywhere. But these rookies that will be part of the team for the years to come, which is maybe where I could argue with Nicolai and Maronk. Not to say that Maronk won't go back and play really well next year, but you would kind of put your flag into Nicolai, and that he will become more of a core Ryder Cup player for many, many years. So it's a good opportunity for those guys to play. But then you get round to that American side, and because of Liv, and it's completely ripped up their team, you've got a lot of rookies there and guys that obviously we didn't expect to be there. And I'm looking down the list, and there's some guys there that I think will play well despite necessarily being someone that we didn't think would be there, like a Brian Harman. But actually, I don't look at it with worry. I don't look at it with fear.
Right, sorry, you go.
No, you go.
No, well, I was probably the only one we were obviously in the car up this morning driving up to Scotland. I was kind of the only one on the USA kind of side, really. You know, 7 of those players were in the 2021 one against Western Straits. So you've got to kind of argue that their core of their team is still the same. And I don't know, I just think I just look at it and I'm very scared of it.
No, I think you're right. I think the core of the team is very similar.
Yeah.
But I think that core is rotten. It's rotten. No, I think I have a look through that US team. I think Harman is a fantastic fit for this course.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do really well. He's obviously a great putter. He's a rookie though.
Yeah.
So, you know,
you never know what's going to happen.
That will play a part.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know, maybe he feels the same as you, Kieran. When he goes to Italy, he might be completely on edge.
And he can't defend himself because he's a small man.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah. But he's got Brooks.
Yeah, yeah, but then Stracker's going to take them both
the
out.
most unnatural partnership.
He's not Brooksy. Oh my God!
If Harman and Koepka play together, then
on Sunday, I would love Koepka versus Stracker. That would be quite cool.
Fist fight.
I think that would be really
in
cool.
what? Golf or?
Well, whatever.
Let's just settle this on the first tee. Sort of throwdown.
Was it chess boxing and you just have golf boxing? They complete a hole and then 3 rounds in the book.
With the head covers on the hands.
Yeah.
I think Harman's going to do it. I mean, Scheffler will not have a putt conceded all week.
No. I'll be telling him on the first tee.
Well, that's the, we've said this. I think anytime Scheffler plays, you're just to get in his head, just like Scotty, don't even ask.
Sorry, mate.
Don't even look. No matter the distance, you hold out. Like, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
I think Wyndham Clark, what I've seen of Wyndham Clark, I actually really, really rate his swing. I love his game in general, but I don't think it really suits this course. When I've seen him play off the tee, massive driver of the golf ball, it can be a little bit loose. And if you're going to go in the long rough at Marco Simone, it's a lost ball. Like, you're not going to be able to get it back
conceded.
out. Exactly. Homer, obviously a class player, but Ryder Cup rookie. Cantley, I don't know. Like, if he turns up with a pulse, potentially he might do well. Schauffele, I actually really like as a player.
I'd love to know, David, Schauffele's record for a thing. I know that's quite...
Yeah, I know what you mean. He doesn't strike you as a match play.
No, but I bet he's like sneaky good.
He was a rookie last time around, I think.
Was he?
Show
For Wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. So he
did well, I think.
Yeah, he won 3.
Yeah.
And lost 1.
I think Whistling Straits inflated
that whole, yeah.
Yeah, the European team for Whistling Straits was
sucked.
Yeah, it was rubbish. But I really like. He's one of my favourite kind of players to watch. Koepka, you just don't know. Like, great player, but at Le Golf National in Paris, he couldn't figure out that hitting it in the rough was a bad idea. So if he can do that again, we don't know. Justin Thomas, literally no one knows what's happening. Spieth can be erratic off the tee, plays great recoveries, but you will not be able to play great recoveries from this rough. Fowler.
Do you genuinely think that the rough is going to be as thick as what we saw it at?
Yeah. I think it could go even worse.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, like, in terms of like the amount of volume of people that are going to be there that are going to sort of trample down a lot of this stuff. Like, do you know what I mean?
I'm more worried about the volume of people getting lost than trampling it down. I would say there could be at least 5,000 people lost at the Ryder Cup.
Well, just getting to the blooming place is one of the things. I'll tell you that. I wonder if that road's done.
I know what you mean, though. I do know what you mean, but
like,
to be honest, even if that rough is trampled down, there's honestly, if you've not watched our video from Marco Simone, please do. We had quite the adventure. It is a course which, if you drive it well and your wedges are on form, you can really have a good score. If you're a little bit offline off the tee, you have not narrow fairways, but they're not the widest. You've got a bit of semi-rough, and then you have what I would imagine the Jurassic period looking like. Just thick, lush vegetation with dinosaurs in it. That is what you get at Marco Simone. It's just a hazard. It's like it's 0.5 of a shot, if not more, every time you go in it.
Yeah.
Obviously, match play is a bit different because you might just lose the hole. But if you're a bit erratic, you're going to lose 3-4 holes.
Yeah.
Morikawa putting under pressure.
He's coming into a bit of a form though when he was at the Tour Champs.
He's just putting under pressure, which is like always a question for him. And Sam Burns, I really like Sam Burns until he's a match play this year.
Yeah, so I know you're a Sam Burns fan. I think the thing with JT as well is that obviously people have kind of made the brief comparison with Poulter, so to speak, of that, you know, his record at the Ryder Cup is imperious. Like, he's such a good match play guy. Him and Spieth, the partnership, are really strong. But we're going into this Ryder Cup with JT where Poulter used to get picked and he could be playing his worst golf, but we just had the case study to say he turns it on. We don't know with Justin Thomas. We're just assuming that will be the case, and he quite easily can.
Like, honestly, I know Poulter's quite a divisive figure, but I actually think that's doing a disservice to Poulter. Poulter, when he didn't play well, was pretty rubbish.
Yeah.
But when he got to the Ryder Cup, it wasn't that he started to play better. He was a different person.
Yeah.
Like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, whatever he found within himself, and this is what the Ryder Cup does to players. It can change them into a different animal. Now, as much as Thomas loves the Ryder Cup, he's not been playing well all year.
No.
What's
Like, you can't just shake that off.
No, very true. Isn't his like win record like 80% or something? It's like
It's high.
It's
It's
something
very good. Yeah, it's
very good.
It is very good. I suppose in my eyes, the way I look at it is Europe have historically seemingly done better in the team play. So when it comes to the foursomes and the four balls, we do pretty well. And then when the singles come around, just man for man, the American side is usually stronger than our team.
I'd back us this time.
I back. That's the thing that does it for me this time, is that I just go man to man, and I look at it and I think we can hold ourselves in good stead against that lot. That's the only thing that does it for me this time. And we're in home territory, which makes it a lot different.
Yeah.
A lot different.
I did see a stat, to be fair, that USA haven't won away in 30 years. So
There you go. I mean, if we were talking about this team going to America, then it would. Are you gonna?
No, that is true. That's true.
I like it. Trust it. Can they do it on a rainy night in Stoke?
If we were talking about this team going out to America, then I wouldn't be as confident. And don't get me wrong. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I don't think we're gonna beat them without them scoring a point on the board. I think it will be close.
Yeah.
But we're coming from a position where when this Ryder Cup schedule started and this circuit started, I didn't think we would get anywhere near them.
No, I think you're right. I think it's gonna be close. Like, let's have some prediction. David, have you got any more stats that you want to throw at us?
Well, just coming back to the JT one, he's played 9, won 6. Overall, he's got a 72%
72
points
Very good.
percentage, which is really good. Sharp contrast to his form at the moment. This is a weird one in that it's a complete reverse of what I think about when I think of the European Ryder Cup team. In that, I think I've got this right. This is the first time in a while that Europe has fielded a younger team than the US.
Yeah, there we go.
Average age of just 30.
Love it.
There's virtually nothing in it. I think the US is like 30.3,
Oh,
but
we'll
we'll
take
ignore that for the moment.
That's
I mean-
1-0.
However, we do, like we said, we do have Rose.
I was about to say Rose, yeah.
Like,
he's bringing up the average.
like
That's true.
we,
Get rid of Justin
hang on.
Rose.
like we've got to carry him to the first tee.
Not that
Are
old.
you
Hang
going
on.
to do a really quick calculation?
Pump him up.
It comes down quite drastically.
What does it come down
It
to?
comes to 28 point something. So
But yeah, dropping two age
is-
groups is quite a bit.
Which is obviously really good, like for the future of European
Yeah.
golf.
Is Rory the next oldest?
no, I think it's Shane.
Or maybe Shane.
Shane's,
Shane
Shane's
is,
36. Rory's 34
I
though.
know, yeah.
Like Rory is always going to be younger than you think he is, even though he's like been around for literally ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be. Is this going to be a 7th? I'm pretty sure. 7th Ryder Cup, I want to say.
I'm not sure, but he's this is his 7th.
All right,
Yeah.
so he'll be one more than Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
I
a
don't-
7th one.
Like, I don't think his record's stunning in the Ryder
Who?
Cup. Though
No.
Rory.
No.
It is exactly equal. He has a 50% points return.
Okay.
I mean, you could back that up by saying he's always out first. He plays every match.
He does play every match.
Yeah, he goes against the best
The best
American
player, yeah.
every single time.
Yep.
But yeah, he's played 28 matches in,
Yeah.
in the Ryder Cup.
That's wild.
You'd think it'd be frazzled, but you could tell from the emotions last time around. Like I remember, like his tears. He
Yeah.
was crying.
Mm.
Poulter was crying. Like this still means as much, and it's figures like that, and for like Rosie as well. Sorry, that doesn't feel right, does it? For Justin Rose.
No, you know him on a one-on-one basis, obviously.
I don't know well enough for that.
I just love the Ryder Cup.
Sorry,
the
Rosie.
Ryder Cup just like the
It
best.
I love-
is,
I
it
love
is
it.
really good.
It's just so cool.
I have friends who don't watch any golf who, when the Ryder Cup comes round, they'll watch. It's the only time they watch
Yeah.
golf.
There are a lot of people like that, and it's just I love the
They're-
fact that it's just
Yeah.
it still has the. It's kind of like a silly way to say it, but it still has that like purity of. It's just about the competition.
It's not about the money.
It's not about the money. It's just about representing
Yeah.
like the flag, and it's about the passion, and it's about wanting to win for your team. I love it.
For
Just
Sevi.
great. For Sevi.
There's just bringing it back to the US team here a minute.
No.
Sorry,
Go
no,
on, why is Brooks Koepka going to win all his games?
No. It's not that. It was actually about, we mentioned about Moronk. It's not going to be at the same capacity, but Keegan Bradley. Now, I thought that he was going to get in. And I imagine, do you reckon that Zach Johnson was kind of toying between either Thomas or Keegan? Or do you reckon it was, who do you reckon in there has gotten over?
I think it was Burns.
I think
Was it
I'd
Burns,
say
was it?
Burns and Thomas for me. If I was the captain looking at it, I'm thinking those are the guys that I'd have been questioning over.
Right.
Burns, I think his win at the match play has played a massive part in him getting selected.
Yeah.
But I don't hate that. It's obviously it's a good thing to go off. Even like someone like Cam Young as well. Like he was, I know not in the automatics, but I'm fairly sure he was about 7th or 8th in the rankings for them.
Cam Young and Keegan Bradley can kind of find themselves pretty hard done by.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
I'd have loved to have seen Cam Young in the Ryder Cup. Wow.
An aggressive little man.
Yeah, like talking about putting somebody into that bare knuckle boxing match. Imagine Cam Young going in there.
Yeah.
Imagine those eyes. Like, he wouldn't even have to fight anybody.
Yeah.
No.
Just paralyze you with his glare.
Him versus Stracker in the tunnel.
Yeah, he'd like hit somebody without his facial expression changing.
Yeah.
See, I would have been 100% with you, but then seeing him at the Open in the final pairing with was it Brian Harmon on the Saturday?
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it? And I think he was so angry that he took it out on himself.
Did he implode?
He absolutely imploded.
Wow, love that.
Despite being my favourite player, have to.
It's just like a star collapsing on itself.
Yeah, but I think Brian Harmon is secretly, he is what we all kind of hoped Kevin Kisner would be.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I tell you, I go to bed every night and I think, if Kevin
What could have
Kisner was
been?
half the man that Brian Harmon is.
If Kevin Kisner was in Paris, what could have been?
He's a match play fiend.
Exactly, yeah.
I think everybody would agree with that. It obviously remains to be seen if it comes to fruition. Because like the Ryder Cup is so weird. Like it just changed
brings
players,
out the best in people. Yeah.
and it can make people
swing as
crumble
well,
as well. Yeah, like
Well,
it can change entire careers.
Yeah.
So predictions. Let's give it. I'm going to go. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to go Europe by 2.
So I'm going to say I think Europe will win, and they will win by. I think they'll win by 3.5.
Wow, 3.5.
I think they'll be quite comfortable in the end.
Interesting.
Kieran, remember where you were born.
Yeah.
Remember your heritage.
I just
No, don't say because
no,
otherwise they'll say we're
I
biased.
obviously want to say like that Europe are going to win it. I just
Speak the truth, kid. Speak the
yeah.
truth.
No,
Speak the truth.
I'll be honest. I think it's going to be very, very tight, and I am going to go for. Is it like 14 points that they need
14
to
and a half
retain?
to
it?
win, 14 to retain.
Yeah, so I reckon it's going to be 14. 14? Does that maths work out? Or 14, 13 and a half?
Where's the maximum points to
Yeah.
win it? Like,
Yeah, I think it's 14.5. So yeah, so it'd be a tie.
Yeah,
But
I
the
think,
US would retain.
Yeah, I think
US
it's going
would
to. I
retain.
think it's going to be that. That's what I think it's going to be.
Wow.
Because yeah. I was looking
Get
at.
off the
Oh my
fence.
God! Let me pull a fence in here.
No,
Get
but no,
splinters in your
because
ass.
I do think that I do think that the US are going to win it, but I think it's going to be very, very tight. So I think it's going to come down to the draw.
No. If you think the US are going to win it,
Yeah, that's
you say the USA are going to win. Give us a points total. If you're
Right.
saying they're going to retain, it's just a draw.
okay. 14 and a half, 13 and a half. It does that maths add up?
yeah, that's
Right.
right.
Okay. There you go.
David, take us home.
I'm going to sound so bleak by
No, I
comparison
like
now because I hate to admit it, but I think America are still definitely favourites for this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I was having a look on Paddy
There we
Power.
go.
Yeah.
I was having a look on Paddy Power,
Right,
and it was
okay.
it was 1.9 for USA, 2.2 for Europe.
Other
Right.
bookmakers are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Available.
people
I-
for people who don't speak Paddy Power.
So
that's
is-
Well,
that
I had a look at Sky as well, and I had a look at them all. So
So you looked around.
Are you basically saying that
Looked
the
on the
US are
exchange.
favourites on?
US are just favourites, yeah, but it's I don't think it's going to change much now.
Do you want me to hit you with some knowledge?
What's that?
The US are always favourites because world ranking points wise and performances in majors, they're always the favourites because like on paper they have usually the strongest team. But you know what? You can take that paper, you can screw it up, chuck it into a bin, set that bin on fire, and kick it into the Tiber because the Ryder Cup throws that stuff out the window.
No, I agree.
That's the river that goes through Rome, right? Is the Tiber, isn't it? They just make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you guys excited to go? Are you excited to go?
Have we told people going?
Yes, but
Yeah.
I don't think. Yes, we have. No, we have because we spoke about it, and
Yeah. So me and David are going over to the Ryder Cup, where we're going to be there with BMW. But I think our filming commitments, I think they're relatively light.
Do you reckon you're going to get any like inside the ropes sort of thing?
Or close enough that they can sit on me.
Yeah, maybe like you could be a scoreboard person.
I think David, after he's had a few Aperol Spritz, will probably be vaulting those ropes.
This is what
anyway.
I'm talking about. When you go to Italy, you get a bit,
A little bit.
little bit shy.
Yeah,
I'll bring my costume.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
My
imagine.
Banana Man costume.
Green Man.
I can imagine just standing there and just
That's a
having
reference.
a couple of drinks, and I'm like, "Oh, what do you think of that, David?" Look around, he's just gone,
Yeah.
and I could just see like this shape stalking through the long grass,
So
just getting
weeding
closer to Rose. It's like, oh no, he's going
Pulls him in.
go for the hug. Yeah, just pulls him into the long grass.
Never
Where's
never to be seen.
Why am I attacking European players?
I don't know.
Pulling in for a close
For Cam
one.
Young.
Yeah.
I'm really, you have to inform us about like the route of like the outside of Marco Simone, because when we went, it was it was wild.
So when me and Kieran went earlier this year, that I think there is a genuine concern about like what the
infrastructure
is going to be like, because the course it's a little bit out there as far as like being. It's about if you were to drive on a normal road, it's probably about 25 minutes to half an hour outside of Rome. If you've ever driven in Italy and if you've ever driven around Rome, you will understand there is no such thing as a normal road.
Nope.
And it probably takes about an hour to get there out of Rome. Then when you get there, like the infrastructure around it, they were building a new road when we left, but it didn't seem like they were in much of a rush.
Yeah.
So
there wasn't much work going on. There wasn't much people there.
What that's actually going to be, it just felt a little bit
Unorganised.
not unorganised. 'Cause obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it didn't seem like anything was happening at the scale that it probably needed to.
Right. Okay.
To host
in a rush.
To host the biggest event. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is the Ryder Cup is the biggest event in golf as far as viewership and everything. And so it just felt a little bit, I don't know, not quite there.
And I don't know where I got this from, but I'm pretty sure it was Greta that told us that they're staying in the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't
you need
think
to.
that's right.
No, I'm almost
What the
certain.
players are?
Yeah, I'm sure she said that. Greta definitely
Cozying up
said
with
it.
the Pope.
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
I said not. Well,
No.
they were all staying somewhere, and it was like, because she was like, "Oh, I don't know how the players are gonna get there every day because they're right in the centre of Rome." That's what she said.
I mean, the centre of Rome and the Vatican are kind of.
So did she say Vatican
Yeah.
or did she just say the centre of Rome?
She did say Vatican. I thought this is what I mean. So this is I know they're staying.
Was
well,
it
I
a
don't
German
know,
accent?
But
Just
I know that they're in there. They're not like they're on the outskirts.
Yeah, so like Vatican City, which sits at the centre of Rome, is its own little principality. But it's just stuffed full of chapels, churches, and the Pope's like bathrooms. Like, I don't really know.
No, I don't know where I got that
Obviously,
from.
there is more to it than that. If you've
I'm sure you would have got it from somewhere.
I got
It's
I
not
do
it's not
sometimes.
like you to say things without any backing. That's
Exactly.
not
And, like,
it.
this
exactly.
is the European Ryder Cup too. There's a distinct lack of Irish bars in the Vatican. Like, how are they going to let the hair down?
No, that's where you're wrong because they're installing one.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Just on the side of St. Peter's Basilica.
That's what the
It's
Sistine
like
Chapel's going to
24
be.
Guinness pops.
The Sistine Chapel becomes an Irish bar.
I know a lovely. You need to go to. I told you about that one, didn't I? About the our Scholars Lounge.
Yeah, I'm not.
You need to go
I'm not 100% sure on your bar choices, though, Kieran.
No.
You've taken in some bars that you really like, which are
this
unsafe.
No. They're actually quite. That one's a good one. That's up there. If I was to recommend, that's a safe recommendation for me. No, I'm happy with
You
that
won't
one.
find Sepp Stracker in there.
Sepp Stracker with his top off dancing on the bar.
Oh my god!
Just picking everyone up for a fight.
What a man!
And in pure Rough Cut Golf podcast fashion, we talk about golf for 55 minutes and then just go into an absolute free-for-all at the end. But I think we've probably come to the end of... Yeah, we've gone just over an hour, so I think we've done pretty well.
It's not too bad.
I mean, as we say, we've done our predictions, but I would say as a final prediction, it's going to be a hell of a week, really.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna see a lot of good golf. We're going to be a lot of competitive golf and hopefully a European win.
Yeah, we'll get some more insights next week. So we're going to be off to Wentworth, where a lot of the I'm pretty sure it's kind of one of those weeks where most of the European Ryder Cup team will actually be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of get in and amongst it. We'll try and ask a few questions.
We'll go find Luke
And we'll
see
go
what's
find
going on.
Moronk as well.
I'll go find Moronk at the end of the range, looking into space.
Yeah.
That's
like
who we
just
should,
staring into the middle distance.
Request for the Pro-Am. I
Moronk.
want Moronk.
Justice for Moronk.
That's our next video, guys.
Yeah, what's
Justice for
We
Moronk.
get justice from Moronk.
what's that called when it's like the same first letter of a word?
Alliteration?
Alliteration. That's it. What could be a good alliteration for Moronk?
Misery from Moronk? Or do you want more positive?
No, I want like positive, like a like
Motivation for Moronk?
maybe.
We could go A.
Yeah, or A, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like the attack of them, Adrian. Do you know what I mean?
The attack of the Adrians.
McDonald's been too fitted by some.
That'll be a hell of a story to bring from Wentworth.
Do you think it'd be quite awkward? Imagine if they're in the same group. Because I think Luke Donald normally tees it up, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that there is some professionalism behind not getting selected.
Yeah, it's just going to be a case of being gutted.
Yeah.
And it's just... Honestly, I don't know I don't understand quite why I'm so disappointed. I can't quite put my finger on it.
You've been very vocal about it. Like,
I've been very pro Moronk.
You have.
There you
been.
go. That's why we kind of just have my Moronk t-shirts.
My
Moronk.
Can you wear them when you go? Can we make you some Moronk t-shirts?
Oh my god, please, yeah, my Moronk.
Okay. I want to. Going to think of what you can have on the front and then like a thing on the back, and then we'll get something going.
My mate Moronk.
My mate Moronk.
I love that.
Oh, the mighty Moronk. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be there. We'll get the inside scoop. We'll try and find out as much as we can, and we're also playing in the Pro-Am. So if you are there, I think we might be in the afternoon wave this time around. I don't know for sure.
The weather's different than last time because that was not the
yeah,
way to be in.
we got very lucky last year. So we'll let everybody know. I know I'm playing with Ione Stephen. I think Mac Boucher as well. And Rory McIlroy. No.
Imagine if it was really.
I mean, hopefully it might be one of these guys. Imagine that.
Well, do you remember last year?
Imagine if we get Aberg. That'd be amazing.
Imagine. Well, last year it was Luke.
Well, we had the Ryder Cup captain.
We had the Ryder Cup.
Like, you can't really get too big of a draw. I mean, I did try. We should have actually prefaced this whole thing by saying I'm not in the Ryder Cup team, despite Luke promising that he'd give me good consideration.
Yeah, to be fair.
I think you're first alternate though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to take my clubs.
Yeah.
Like, tag me in. I'm ready. I'll be waited by the first tee, first alternate. I think our round at Marco Simone probably
That
discounted
probably put you out of
us.
contention, but
Probably just
right.
took us out of the running.
You had I'd say 14 good holes, good solid holes, and then just 4 not good holes. Well, three not good holes and 1 disastrous
yeah.
hole.
So you're 4 down, but you can come back from that.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was a disastrous hole, but it only takes 1 disastrous hole to make a catastrophe.
Yeah.
You know,
Not in match play though.
You know, you can, in any walk of life, you can be doing that. You know,
Leave us with a.
You know what? For
Leave us with a nice
for
remark.
25 years, Marcus was a perfect controller of the oil rig.
Yeah.
but it only took one slip and the whole place blew up. You know,
You're not wrong.
you know, all that good work
Yeah.
out the window.
All
And
it
that's-
takes is one mistake.
And that is what happened to me on the 15th hole of Marco Simone. I blew up the oil rig and just polluted the entire area with my terrible golf.
If you want to continue to live your life on
You know what?
just don't blow up the oil rig and you'll be fine.
I've got to be honest, I was digging that much earth out of that hole. I think I struck oil. Like, if you can get to the left-hand side of the 15th hole of Marco Simone and just go a little bit deeper, like, you're going to be a rich man.
Thing is, though, like you actually, it wasn't. You didn't hit a bad drive. You just hit it too far.
It's
You
been,
just hit
it's been the problem all my life.
You did though, didn't you?
But-
it wasn't a bad drive.
On another note, the next few weeks when we're playing some course logs, we need to line up some good opponents. I am smashing it.
Okay.
What the driver or everything?
Everything.
Right.
Honestly, I played today at Dundonald with some comp winners with Osio. I am ripping it.
Really?
Honestly, like, there's a few drives today. It was kind of like at Crew,
Yeah.
where smashing, I stepped back, I was like, bloody hell. It was
Where's
like
that
that.
come from?
on the par
Are
5.
you listening to this, Luke?
It
This is
must-
what you're missing out on.
This is from the cycle. It must be.
What's it done?
I don't know. Bigger calves or more hip turn. I
He was
don't know.
pedaling with his hands.
Yeah.
To be fair, my hands are still not great. They are still a bit sore. But no, I just got bigger bump. And also, the first few rounds of the bike ride inspired me to actually look at what I was doing in my swing because I was chopping it.
Yeah, you were chopping it.
But my drive is flying so straight so far.
That's it.
Good.
And I'm not.
No,
I
believe you.
feel I've proven in the past that I can be quite critical of my own game. But my driver today was fire.
Okay.
I don't think I missed the fairway.
No.
Really?
Honestly, I was
Okay.
absolutely ripping it.
Well, yeah, there we go. As we end on that note, I mean, Luke, you've made a terrible decision and not picked Peter Finch, but
Could have been though. Right?
hey, well, you'll be there in case, if you want to sub in.
Yeah, my own play.
Maybe
was
if we have like someone
my
has
chipper was awful.
someone has like a dodgy pasta the night before and has a bit of an icky tummy and they have to pull out.
Oh yeah, I could slip a bit of dodgy spaghetti.
There we go.
I know we tried to end this
Spag bol into the
podcast. I know
Vatican.
we tried to end this podcast quite a lot of times, but I am going to ask one more question. What if someone did get food poisoning? Like one of the team members. What happened then?
No,
Sorry, go on.
I think what would happen is if someone like got injured, say,
Adrian
the-
Morant comes in.
no, the opposite captain would like bench one of their players.
Oh.
So if Tommy
Thomas.
if Tommy Fleetwood smashed a bad lasagna, or Aberg
Doesn't strike me as lasagna, man.
or Aberg had like a E. coli laced bolognese, like Zach Johnson would be like, okay,
He moves away from his solely meatballs diet and he just can't deal with it.
I'm gonna sit whoever out. Yeah,
Right.
That's cool. I wonder if that's ever happened.
I think
No.
it came to my mind straight away, so I'm pretty sure that's what was
That's
happening.
interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought maybe one of the vice captains come in.
Yeah, Nicholas Colsott pulls his mask off and it's Adrian Moronk and he's there.
No, absolutely not. Like if that was happening, obviously Francesco would come in.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then Johnny English came to mind straight away. Then when it was like the masked man, it was like Jesus is coming. Look busy. Do you or do you not?
I don't think Moronk's got that tattooed
No.
across his ass.
Maybe that could be the thing. Like it could just be Moronk : Jesus ? And then on the back of the t-shirt we could have like Moronk's face, just like long, like Tommy Fleetwood's hair. David, you could do that on Photoshop.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, yeah.
AI is pretty good these days. No, we'll come up. I think we've come up with some good t-shirts.
Okay.
Some
Just be
Justice
selling
Moronk.
them at the front door of the Wentworth.
Moronk for Jesus ?
Anyhow,
Anyway, so I just want to say, obviously, a massive thank you for listening.
yeah.
And a massive thank you for watching. If you are of the, eyed type on YouTube.
Pervs that watch.
If you haven't subscribed already to the YouTube channel, make sure you do. And if you haven't added us to your absolute favourites on your favourite podcast provider, then frankly, shame on you by now. So, make sure you do it straight away. I just want to say a big thank you to the guys for joining us.
Thank you.
And a big thank you for Dundonald for hosting us for this week. It's going to be an epic journey into content. We've got a lot to get done, and we're going to absolutely smash it because the weather is perfect. And have we decided we're sticking around till Sunday?
I'm free to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm free to.
You sound very convinced.
I haven't been in the flat for 2 months, so what's another week? You know what I mean?
That's literally.
It's only going to be. It's only going to be another couple of
I
days.
know what you
Isn't
mean,
it?
but
We're going to be down in London next week anyway,
Yeah,
so it's only going to be a
exactly.
couple of days.
That's right.
That might not take you.
Is there a
Force him to go to the flat.
is there a chance we might play Shiskin?
Yeah, well,
If we
this is what I'm
play
thinking.
It'd be nice if we had our own clubs, wouldn't it?
Oh God, right. Okay.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for listening.
No. I think I want to explore this a little bit more. Wow. Unbelievable. Jesus. So we might go to Aaron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love the sound of
That
that.
would be very cool.
Yeah.
We'll just have to
very
have a
much
look
enjoy
at ferries and see if we can get over there, but that'd be cool. Okay. So that was cool, and see you soon came out like, Sue. Right, okay. See you in a bit.
See ya.